Hey everybody, 40 Sparky. I've been asked several times on different forums about how I prepare my images for posting on the internet, specifically how I do my watermark, how I put the blended colors into that watermark, how I do my drop shadow, and how I put the title on it. So to answer all those questions, I'm simply going to create a screen capture video to how I do that. Long time ago, I created a watermark. It's basically an outline of the state of Iowa, copyright symbol, and 3 letters to designate the business that I run for my photography. The background is transparent. That allows it to ride in a less than obnoxious way on the top of the photograph when I get to it. But the first thing I need to do is choose the colors I'm going to use for that watermark. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in and I'm going to pick out a dark color, and I want to use, in this particular image, I'm going to put the watermark down here, so I don't want to use those colors. I want to use something different. So I'm going to choose a very, very dark green, and it selects that there. That's still a little light. I'm going to pick that there. It puts that color right there. I'm going to transpose that with another selection, and I'm going to choose this color green right here. Now I've got the 2 colors I'm going to use for both my drop shadow and my watermark. So I'm going to zoom back out. I'm going to pick up my watermark. I'm going to copy it. Choose my move tool. And then I'm going to paste it onto the image. And then from here it's just a matter of either using the mouse or the keyboard. I find it's a lot easier just to use the keyboard to place it on the image. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so I can get a better idea. It looks like it could go down a little bit. Then I use the blend tool and simply drag across, and that blends those 2 colors right across the watermark. Now, I could leave it like that, but to me it's a little bit too obnoxious. It's too prominent in the photograph. And I'm just going to take an opacity slider and slide that down a little bit. Click on the image, and that basically sets the watermark right down here. To me, that's not very unobtrusive and isn't sticking out like crazy. But then I'm going to go back up here to do my drop shadow next. I'm going to choose this color. The only reason I choose that color is so I can copy this color designation for this color and paste it for my drop shadow. That's under Filters, Light and Shadow, Drop Shadow. To choose that color, I'm simply going to insert it from the default black to that color. Now I've got that dark green. Simply click on OK, and it creates the drop shadow. Makes the photograph a little bit larger. It ends up being 840 by 570. No big deal. The last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put the text down here in the bottom left. I'm going to choose my text tool, and I'm going to make the text black. And it doesn't matter where I do this. I generally hit the key right down, or mouse right down here, and I'm going to put the title in on my photograph. And this is going to be called By the Riverbank. And then once I do that, it's still floating as a layer on the surface. I can come down here and place it by hand, close that back out. Now I've got a few layers here, so what I need to do is merge them down. I'm going to go to Layer, Merge Down. That puts everything of this photograph onto one layer. Then it's just a matter of saving it. And I'm going to rename it By the Riverbank. And I save that. And it will give me a message about transparencies. That basically flattens it. Choose my quality. And I've saved it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to close. Open that back up, and that is the result right there. You've got the drop shadow, which is now transparent. You can read the name, my logo is on there, and I've used the same color. I've picked a color out of the image to use as the drop shadow. So that's how I do my watermark and the blending of the color, how I do the drop shadow, and how I put the title of the photograph on the image. This is 480 Sparky. Go forth and actuate.